Good day, ma'am. I am Justine de la Peña from Group 5, and together with me are my members, which will be introduced by themselves. We are BSBAON 31A, and we will be presenting Topic 3, which covers quality management, ethics, and corporate social responsibility. To formally start with, we have here the first slide. Definition and overview of ethics. Ethics. An example of ethics is a code of conduct set by a business. The discipline concerned with what is morally good and bad and morally right and wrong. Every business has what we call ethics because it enhances the law by outlining acceptable behaviors beyond government or company control. Stevenson 2015 identifies 5 principles of thinking ethically: utilitarian principle, right principle, fairness principle, common good principle, and lastly, virtue principle. Utilitarian principle. Utilitarianism is an ethical theory that focuses on results to determine what is right and wrong. According to utilitarianism, the most ethical choice is the one that will result in the greatest good for the largest number of people. For example, the airline industry offers first class, business class, and economy class seats on many of their airplanes. Customers who fly in first class or business class pay a much higher rate than those in economy seats, but they also get more amenities. However, the higher prices paid for business or first class seats help to ease the airline's financial burden created by making room for economy class seats. Rights principle. This perspective maintains that our dignity is founded on our ability to choose how we spend our lives freely, and that we have a moral right to be respected for our choices as free, equal, and rational persons, as well as a moral obligation to respect others in the same way. Example: if I have the right of freedom, then I have a justified claim to be left alone by others. Turn around, I can say that others have a duty or responsibility to leave me alone. If I have a right to an education, then I have justified claim to be provided with an education by society. Fairness principle. So basically, fairness is concerned with actions, processes, and consequences that are morally right, honorable, and equitable. In essence, the virtue of fairness establishes moral standards for decisions that affect others. Fair decisions are made in an appropriate manner based on appropriate criteria. For example, the workplace is where we tend to feel injustices most acutely, if only because that is where we spend most of our waking hours. When money, competition, and pride are at stake, both petty and serious unfairnesses are common. Taking credit for another works, shifting blame, unequitable allocation for workload, promotion of less competent for political reasons, and then there are all those double standards. Some do less work and what they do isn't good. They come in late, miss deadlines, and make mistakes, yet they get the same raise as you. The company has strict rules, but when bosses do something you would get fired for, they receive only a slap on the wrist, if that. Common good principle. As normally in use today, the phrase common good refers to those facilities or institutions that all or most members of a community agree are necessary to satisfy certain interests they have in common. For example, people might say the new bridge will serve the common good, or we will all profit from the new convention center, because the systems and facilities of the common good impact all members of the society. It stands to reason that most social problems are in some way tied to how well or poorly these systems and facilities are working. Virtue principle not only deals with the rightness or wrongness of individual actions, but it also provides guidance as to sort of characteristics and behaviors a good person will seek to achieve. For example, an employee who displays ethical behavior at work based on the virtues they hold dear is often seen as more reliable and dependable by their superiors. Even though that behavior is to be expected on the job, Seeing examples of it at work can make an employee stand out from their colleagues.
Good day, I am Jajan Joy Dai. I will be presenting the trust, value, integrity, and responsibility. Trust is a type of trust that is established by a business to oversee some of the business assets. For example, is a set of assets or property which are overseen by a trustee or by multiple trustees who hold the title to the business property in the name of the beneficiary or beneficiaries of the trust. Value. It is the standard value measure used in the business valuation. For example, of a tangible elements include monetary assets, stockholder, equity, fixture, and utility. Integrity. On a person level, people of integrity have a strong moral compass. They keep their whole world, take full responsibility for their actions, and hold fast to their moral wide, even if it sometimes means winding up in uncomfortable situation or having to make tough decisions. For example, showing integrity in every circumstances. Responsibility. Someone's duty to perform or complete a task. These tasks might have been assigned by someone or created by one person. For example, be a good, getting involved in volunteer work together.
Hi, my name is Jetral A. De Vera and my topic is Manager's Role in Ethics. I know that we are all familiar with the position of manager. They are crucial in increasing a company or an organization's efficiency and effectiveness. In organizational ethics, they are playing an important role by being responsible of the ethical conduct of those they control, which expands from handling employees, processes, and projects for the company or organization success. To increase the employees' efficacy and efficiency, they ensure that each employee is aware of the company's code of conduct. Also, they assure that employees are not intimidated with their presence and would feel free to ask questions to them. There are three approaches in manager's role in ethics. The first is best ratio approach. Based on the belief that all people are basically good, they will act ethically in the proper conditions but unethically in others. When dealing is best with difficulties, just do what for most people. Best ratio approach, they will not act ethically all the time and will do act ethically in proper conditions. They make shallow decisions when faced with difficulties and will prioritize what is the best for majority people. The second is black and white approach. Right is right, wrong is wrong, hence making ethical decisions. When making tough decisions, regardless of the outcome, managers need to make fair and impartial decisions and do the right thing without worrying about short-term situations. Black and white approach. When managers are faced tough situations, they always keep in mind that the right is right and wrong is wrong in making ethical decisions. Regardless of the outcome, right thing should be done in short-term situations or not necessarily affect their decisions. Lastly, restful potential approach. Ethical decisions are those that achieve this purpose without infringing on the rights of others. When it comes to making decisions, managers must make decisions based on how they affect the stakeholders' ability to reach their full potential. Full potential approach. The purpose this approach are met without breaking the rights of others, since the stakeholders are put into priority for them to reach their full potential.
Organization's role and ethics. The organization's responsibilities are to create an ethical environment in which stakeholders know that they will be supported when making ethical choices. Other one, ensure that all people in positions of authority in the organization set an example of living up to the highest ethical standards. Here's my explanation. An organization cannot run without implementing organizational responsibilities. Organizational responsibilities take a balanced approach to ensuring the organization runs efficiently and benefits the most people at all times. Creating an ethical environment. An organization creates an ethical environment by establishing and enforcing policies and practices that ensure that all employees are treated ethically. Managers must develop an ethics philosophy with specific guidelines that will serve as an ethical standard in the organization. Here's the other one. Setting an example. An organization that takes the do as I say, not as I do approach ethics will not succeed. Managers must behave or act in accordance to the ethical standards of the organization in order to earn trust from the employees. So here's my example. In organization, it is important to create an ethical environment because it plays a vital role in organization, where it creates a high quality performance in organization, as well as the performance of workers. It also gives a positive outcome while improving the ethical behavior of individuals. Here's my example. This means that managers or individuals should be a role model to all employees. They must do and act well in accordance to ethical standards of the organization so that all employees is inspired and motivated to perform their job. With these individuals can gain trust to each other within organization.
Good day. I am Juliet J. Rivera. I am from BSBA 31A. Today, I am discussing about the models for making ethical decisions. We got here 8 models. Number 1 is full disclosure model. Number 2 is doctrine of the mean model. Number 3 is golden rule model. Number 4, market ethic model. Venus. Number 5, organizational ethic models. Number 6, equal freedom model. Number 7, proportionality ethic models. Number 8, professional ethics model. Models for making ethical decisions. Full disclosure model. Full disclosure puts individual in danger or harm sooner, and people harms are also irreversible and one-use. As such, full disclosure should the exemption and may only be used when attempts at responsible disclosure have failed. For example, an individual or group reporting the vulnerability contracts the party chargeable for the affected software. Many companies have established programs for such reports, some even offering financial rewards. Number 2, doctrine of the mean model. The doctrine of the mean represents moderation, rectitude, objectivity, sincerity, honesty, and probity. The guideline is one should never act in excess. For example, the one that flees from every danger is cowardly. The one that doesn't flee from anything is rash. But the courageous then falls somewhere between these extremes. Courageous, preserved by the observance of the mean. Number 3, golden rule model. The golden rule could be a philosophy for living one's life that implies that people should be treated fairly and with respect. Essentially, people act for the nice of others because they might prefer to be treated within the same way. For example, the golden rule suggests that if you'd like people to treat you with respect, then you must confirm to treat them with respect too. Number 4, market ethics model. Marketing ethics are the normal principle and values that requires to be followed during any quiet marketing communication. They're the final set of the guidelines which might help companies to choose on their new marketing strategies. For example, if a customer wishes to create a sale from a retailer, their expectation include the serious to be treated fairly by the salesperson and desperate to pay an expensive price. Ethical marketing decisions and effort should meet and suit the requirements of shoppers, suppliers, and business partners. Treatment in the organizations is through sensitivity of training.
Organizational ethics model. Organizational ethics is not the ethics of a company, and it's how a corporation responds to an inside or external stimulus. Organizational ethics loyalty. Here's my example. The way an organization should respond to external environment to organization ethics. Organization ethics includes various guidelines and principles which decide the way individuals should behave at the workplace. Here's the sample. Every organization wants to earn profits, but how it makes money is more important. No organization should depend on unfair means to earn money. One must understand that money is not the only important thing. Pride and honor are more important. An individual's first priority can be to make money, but he should not stop too low just to be able to do that. Freedom model. Organizations are free to act as they see fit unless their actions infringe to stakeholders' rights. Any action that may infringe on stakeholders' rights is considered unethical. Here's my explanation. In these organizations, have the right to behave as they want until it doesn't hurt the sentiments of the stakeholders.
Proportionality ethics model assumes that decisions are rarely black and white. As a result, the most an organization can do when making decisions is to ensure that the good outweighs the bad. Proportionality ethics model is as straightforward as it says. In making decisions, the positive and the negative are being weighed, and the positive and good things must always outweigh the negative and bad things. In this model, it conforms on general judgment, the world regarding situations that judgments are seldom plainly wrong or right. Professional ethics model. Only if a large cross-section of professional peers approves of an organization actions is it regarded ethical. This style is frequently guided by a professional code of ethics. Professional ethics model, which are guiding principles, also called ethics, for each profession, pieces of how they would act, what are the duties, skill, and knowledge to be followed. It is most common ground of all employees that all of them must be knowledgeable of their respective fields.
Beliefs lead to behaviors, and how leaders use consequences shapes both employee behaviors and beliefs. It also pointed out that consequences can be either positive or negative. Unfortunately, focusing just on consequences to change behaviors doesn't enable the sort real change most leaders imagine when they sent out to transform their culture. This is because individual values also play a huge role in how people behave. The following are the several reasons that explain the disparity between the belief and behavior of people. Self-interest and self-protection. Conflicting values, tangible or intangible, immediate or deferred, making ethics tangible and immediate.
Self-interest and self-protection. We define self-enhancement and self-protection as interest. For example, is pursuing higher education to get a better job so that you can make more money in the future. Conflicting value. Value can create conflict and confrontation at work in the two ways that individuals have in advancing one or more self-domains or depending against negative self-view. Two opposing belief systems are at play, and one or more people involved feel pressure to conform. For example, in the workplace can include employees who want to spend more time at home with family than in the office, or employees who disagree on appropriate with methods through which the complete a shared task.
Tangible or intangible, immediate or deferred. Example, in case of Juliet, if she is willing to deceive the contractor by submitting a false delivery date, there will be a direct benefit that both immediate and tangible. Her company will win a badly needed contract and she will be the author of the victory. The downside is that at some point in the future, the company will lose the trust and, as likely result, the future business of the contractor she deceived. The benefit in this situation is immediate. The downside is deferred, making ethics tangible or immediate. Example, example, in case of Juliet, the upper management could have supported the supervisor in doing an ethical decision instead of Juliet in doing the ethical decision.